What is the crack, YouTube? It's Harry, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It is absolutely lashing down, but I got a few jobs pre-hooked in today that are not depending on weather, thankfully. It doesn't mean I will get soaked. I've two full PVC cleans on, two freestanding 4-bedroom houses, like they're literally right beside each other, so there's not much travelling there. And then I got one window clean to do today for a lady who's getting the power pre-caution done by a friend of mine. So I have to clean the windows after that, there inside and the outside as well. And yeah, so it's gonna be a busy day, and I'm gonna be absolutely soaking at the end of the day. Yay! Besides that, I had a lot of messages this morning about people asking me about soft pre-caution, what percentage to use on hypo and dilution rate and so on. And there was also a question, can I use hypo in the rain? Now, in general, when I spray hypo, I pre-soak the surface anyway. If it's a wall or a roof, really, I pre-soak the whole area with water first, and then I spray the chemical onto it then. I normally use about a shot glass or two of fairy liquid in the hypo solution, so that it will stick onto the wall. I find that quite helpful. A friend of mine told me about that when I started cleaning the PVCs and so on, because if you use now, depending whatever you use, if you use hypo or traffic film remover or whatever, you shouldn't really use hypo for fascias, but if you don't have anything on a low dilution ratio, it's okay to be using. Then it kind of makes it sticky on the PVC, and it makes it easier to work with. If you spray it on the wall, it's exactly the same. I normally spray the hypo onto the wall for an hour and then rinse it off, and if there's any big patches then still left, I normally go over it again, over them areas then, you know. Besides that, people have asked me what I use for equipment. Now, before I got the electric backpacks that I bought recently, I used a 120 litre Biocidal tank, a second SureFlow pump, and then all the hose reel, like, and hosing, like, which I have now specifically just for soft pre-caution, like. Before that, I used all my window cleaning equipment, you know, the whole the normal SureFlow pump, the hose reel where I would clean the windows, and so on. Only thing is, you have to rinse it out very well every single time, and it's very time consuming. But if you only start you up like now, and you got already all them things, and you can't really afford to buy a second setup, it's absolutely fine. Just make sure to rinse your equipment really well, especially the pump. I wouldn't leave the chemical overnight now in the pump, because it could damage the seals and so on. Besides that, I recently bought a third pole. It's an Ionix 24-foot pole. It's a mixture between carbon fibre and fiberglass. Wouldn't really clean windows with it, but it's perfect for chemical spray, because you're A, not using a brush head, and B, it doesn't matter if there's any chemical on the pole, because you're only literally using it for chemical spray. I got my spraying nozzle attached on that. That's another thing as well. People are asking me what spraying nozzles I use. Before soft pre-caution was the thing to do, I bought the spray nozzle from Benz. they're quite expensive, or they were quite expensive at the time. I think about 50 or 60 euro. But I'm still using it now 2 years on, and it's working absolutely grand. But with the likes of the likes of Darren Jansborough from DA Components, he has now with the new spray nozzles that he sells, an absolutely great setup, and you can even interchange the spray nozzles. So depending if you really want to spray traffic film remover or Biocidal or hypo or that, it's an absolutely great tool, like. But saying that, on the Benz one you can interchange the nozzles as well, you know, so it's really up to you. Like, some people even just buy the spray nozzles that you would get for power washing and put them into hosing and that, and that's really the cheapest way of doing it. But sometimes it leaks and it doesn't look really professional, you know. I kind of find it's important as well that your equipment looks professional, so that you and your business look professional. But to do the first 2-3 jobs to get the cash together to buy more equipment, it's absolutely fine, like, you know. Besides that, people ask me, Harry, I kind of want to go away from the hypo to be using it all the time on just red, render or green. What should I use? I personally use Benz Biocidal Wash. Now, thing is with that, the reasons I use it is it's cheaper than other products out there, like Yalgo Clear and so on. Don't get me wrong now, Yalgo Clear is an absolute product. I just find it's a bit more expensive, and the area where I'm at, it's already hard to sell the soft wash on jobs where I should get X amount, and people are like, oh, that's a lot of money, you know, can't really spend a fortune on chemical. So Benz Biocidal Wash, I find, is a great solution. It's around 10 or 12 euro litre bottle. It makes you up to 2 drums, and it works relatively quick. Now, it doesn't work as quick as hypo, so your salesman skills are required. You kind of need to explain to the customer this will take 2, 3, 4 weeks to work until it's all gone. Where with hypo, it's gone literally either the day or the next day, like, you know. So it's really up to you. Another thing is as well that the Benz Biocidal Wash is not as harmful as the hydrochloride. It doesn't stain your clothing. It's not as bad to be breathing in. Now, you should still wear protection clothing and mask like while using it, but it's not as bad to be breathing in, like. Also, it does less damage to the environment as well, so it's safe to use. You could use also the Benz Blackwash with the hypo in it. I think there's only a little solution of hydrochloride in it. If you have absolutely no idea and you want to get into soft washing, that'll be probably a good route to go down as well, because the way I use hypo, I got trained by 2 people that are doing it for years, so they kind of teach me everything I need to know, and for a new beginner it can be quite complicated. So that'll be another way to go for you. If you want to use hypo but you don't know what to do, go with Benz Blackwash now. Now, Ben would probably argue it's not hypo, it's something else, but theoretically it does the same job, you know. You spray it on, you rinse it off, and an hour later, and then he says the best thing is to spray the Biocidal Wash on afterwards, like, you know. I've done that a couple of times, it works a treat. So it's just a bit more expensive than the hydrochloride. Some people care about that. I think you can get 20 litres of Benz Blackwash for 50 euro or that, so if you don't know what you're doing, it's a perfect option, like, you know. Besides that, yeah, always wear protection. Your suit, if you can, or old clothing, plastic gloves, protection cover on your face, and a breathing mask so you look like Darth Vader. Yeah, that's it. That's it from me. May the soft washing be with you, and I chat you in the next episode. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.